This is how you know. This is how you know I'm live. This is how you know I'm live because I start doing the dance and there's no music. Hello, everyone. Hello. Daddy Chill, yes. Hello, hey, hi. Oh, I was so nervous. I was hoping that the piece from my bud vase was gonna get here, and then I'd be able to take a little bit of some of these monster cookies I have so I could calm down a bit. But I'm super excited. Got the Kush Queen herself coming in. So let me. Are you in the room yet? Let's see. Oh, there you are. Let me get you in here. Make this work. All right.
Hi.
Hey, there we go.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so nervous.
Oh no, don't be nervous. But you know, I literally I messaged Tiffany, my CMO, who's also my cousin's wife. She's like my family, and I said, "Why do I always get nervous to do a live? Like every single time I get nervous. I'm like, it's always nerve-wracking to come on here because it's unfiltered."
Yes, exactly. And I'm just like, I like, I just know something's gonna happen, and I'm like, ugh. But also, I'm just super excited because I get to talk to you.
Well, I am also very anxious because it's like tomorrow's the election, you know?
Yeah. So,
So there's like this other energy in the air as well. And it's very interesting, just like kind of feeling this sense of like shock of like,
mhm.
whoa, it's been 4 years of this,
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
you're absolutely right. And that was something that I had even thought about when I scheduled this. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, is it like it's gonna be election day? Like, how do we even like I'm like, we gotta get some laughter in here at least.
I feel that. I've been trying, like, it's really hard because it's like everyone's posting, like, vote, 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 do this, do this, do this. And I've been trying to just like not do that in some ways. I feel like I voted, I talked to everyone about voting for the last 4 years. I talked about the issues for the last 4 years. And I feel like now it's in everybody else's hands, you know, like you can only control your universe and your world. And
Yeah.
so I've just been trying to like not look at it, but also not like be in it because I've been in it, I feel like all 4 years.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just like trying to salvage the last bit of energy I have because it really has been just like an incredibly challenging year. I mean, for everybody, also
Mhm.
not just with COVID, not just with the election, but personally, like it's just been a year of like insane things happening. And I've just been like, trying to stay afloat like everybody else, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is that year. Like this is the year that I call it like the break year. Like it either broke you or you actually got to take a break from the real world. And
Yeah.
so it's been very interesting to see how it's panned out for a lot of people and kind of that I've actually just been paying attention more like how much people are thriving right now because like this small community that we have here in the cannabis space, like especially in like New Jersey, New York, um, to see that this time allowed people to like focus on really what they want to bring um, to the community. You know, like me personally, I got to work on a lot more projects, so I got to start doing this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. I really, you know, I've followed you, I feel like from the Kush Queen page for years. So
Mhm.
it's really like, it's so great to connect with you. And then to see you thriving is really just been, it's been fun for me because like I really have run this Kush Queen page since the beginning. And
Mhm.
I don't know if people know that or not. You know, I do have people who run like the shop page and do more of like the brand stuff, but this Kush Queen Co page is like the page where it kind of all started for me. So
Yeah.
it like really is a place where I followed so many people like throughout the years and just seen people grow and thrive. And it really is like so good to hear that, you know, you've come out of this in a better place because I have in a different way, just having more gratitude and just really feeling like, okay, this is important. And then I felt like I did at one point get a break. And then once I got like a breath of a break, I realized I needed a lot more of it in my life. And
Mhm.
I think that's what's been, so interesting about this year is like just the holy grail of transformation, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. And speaking of which, like speaking of you, let's I want to just talk about like some of your products because like you had like this just alone like the glow in the dark bath bomb. I was like that was pretty amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I never know what people think about Kush Queen or me because you don't really try to think about that all the time because you'll never get anywhere. And I really just started doing. And believe it or not, when I started Kush Queen, I was selling bath bombs to dispensaries. There was no selling CBD online. There was no hemp industry, and people like really laughed me out. Like they really thought like, oh, it's a bath bomb. And it took a minute to convince people that it was a good product. And then from there, I really just felt like driven to make really good shit. And
Yeah.
then also, I've always felt like wellness and a lot of CBD companies and a lot of cannabis companies even are focused on this like luxury experience.
Hmm.
And even though I think Kush Queen like elevates the experience and we've always like done our own thing, like we're trying to have fun. I think wellness should be fun and inclusive.
Hmm.
And, that's really something that I've been focused on in the products is just like making really fun, cool, exciting things that make people want to use CBD, that make people want to use THC, and really just try to make products for myself. I mean, I think that's it too, is like I created this brand for me. I don't know many other CEOs in cannabis who actually started as a bud tender. I think
Hmm.
I'm probably one of the only ones. And then work their way up. I didn't just, my dad didn't like bankroll my business. It's literally nothing like that. Again, I don't know what people know about me and Kush Queen or not, but it really started in a garage. I really started like with Kinko's packaging on those bath bombs, doing them one by one with my mom and my brother, and things grew and grew and grew. And it's really been, a labor of love. And I think that's also it is just the products are personal. It's
Yeah.
really personal to me what I make. The ingredients are personal because I have like extremely sensitive everything skin. I've struggled my whole life with mental illness. Like making hemp and CBD products even that worked. When I started selling the CBD products, I was like, I don't want everybody to think I'm like all these other people
Yeah.
because I'm not, and I think hearing that people like relate to the products, reading the real reviews we have on our site, and then connecting with people like through them has really just been what's kept me going
Yeah.
because it's really hard running a business and I don't always love it.
No, I completely hear you. And like that's how I found out about you, well, Kush Queen in general was through Melt because I'm a massage therapist. I've been a massage therapist for 15 years. And I went to expo in New York, learned about CBD, and then I was just like, how do we use this? Like, how do I do this and whatever? And it was like solely I started using Melt during massages, but like on my own hands. So it had nothing to do with my clients. It was just solely just because it helped me massage for longer. And then that's actually when I got into topicals themselves and things like that. And it was pretty interesting. And then I found out about the bath bombs and everything. And I was just like,
Oh
this is
wow, so
insane.
Melt was your first product. That's
Yeah.
very interesting. That's like incredibly interesting. So yeah, so my fiance, I'm actually right now, I'm at our THC office in the Soul Distro facility. I'm not at our headquarters. And so my fiance is really the one who developed the technology in Melt, the nanotechnology that we use in every topical except the bath bombs. And for me, that was really when topicals like other than the bath bomb worked for me first because it's full body. You're submerged in a tub of water. There's already benefits to bathing. And then on top of it, you have this incredible um, absolutely incredible. One second. Here's a real life moment. Here's a real life moment. Is that what you're looking for? And this is
With a
Donato.
real life person. Okay.
Get in there. Thank you. Appreciate you for coming get that. No, I literally am here because I'm waiting for a delivery, and my production team is off Monday and Tuesday this week, so they can focus on voting and focus on their lives too. It becomes really hard when you have a small team to give people days off during the holiday season. And I'm a extremely empathic person and business owner. And so we're staggering all of these days off because like I'm a traditional kind of person. I want 2 weeks off during the holiday season, like we got in junior high school and elementary. I want a break. And we don't get that, we don't get it. So having everybody have a break, sometimes it means that I'm here waiting for a delivery. So sorry about that. But yeah, so Melt, I think that's another thing about the products. Like, people don't realize we sell other products than bath bombs, even though we sell a ton of Melt and a ton of lube. And the nanotechnology is how we were able to make the makeup that gets you high, which is just like my biggest hope is that people all over the country can eventually try it. But topicals, just a lot of them didn't work. The salves are, like there's nothing wrong with selling a salve. There's nothing wrong with a salve. It has a purpose. I really do believe for eczema and psoriasis and different skin conditions, it's a better option. But for pain and for really getting into the joint and really getting deep, the oil can't go there. And that's really just it. And so when it actually started with the shower gel, I've always struggled with sleeping. I am a type A. My eyes like wake up, and I even subconsciously, like when I sleep, I think of things. It's awful. It's like getting my brain to turn off. I mean, cannabis has given me, 6 hours more sleep than I ever got. And it was really like sleeping when I first started smoking. Like that was the big like whoa moment for me, because I was actually able to sleep. And my mom, I come home and she'd be like, where were you? And I'm like, Mom, I'm not out doing anything. I'm just getting high and falling asleep on people's couches. Like it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then she's like, oh, well, you should actually go and smoke at home. And then that's when I found out my parents were like stoners and they were pretty into drugs, and I did not know that. It was a very stigmatized, you have to be good. And my mom was one of those Southern mothers who swear, to this day she'll tell you she raised us to be fearful. We needed to stay scared. And that's, so when I found out my parents were cool with cannabis, I was like, whoa. But yeah, my fiance took the nano, he mixed it into like a Dove body wash, and he had me go get in the shower. I was trying to get to sleep and see if it could help without having to take 100 dabs. Because at this point, I was like, I was deep, deep, deep in it. My tolerance was screwed up. I was dabbing morning, noon, and night. And I was having a lot of asthma, a lot of lung problems, and negative effects from it. Just my lungs could not handle it and could not hang. But I had also the problem of a lot of edibles give me that hangover in the morning. And I'm the kind of person who doesn't stop. So I'm like lucidly like high, but like from the night before going. And so I got in the shower. I put the body wash all over. He told me to like leave it on. And then I came out and I was blasted. And he was like, is this real? Like at first we were like, is it placebo? I have a really high tolerance. Like we're not the kind of cannabis people who just like, oh, cannabis cures everything, does everything, blah, blah, blah. We don't. We're not. And we're skeptical even sometimes when things happen scientifically. We're like, we got to prove this,
Yeah.
And so that's really how Melt, the lube, which formerly was called Ignite. I don't know if we want to go there, but
Okay, good. I won't say. I want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about whatever
we
that
won't
is.
give, I mean, like that guy needs more publicity, he gets enough. But I'll actually say this. I called the lube Ignite way long before that brand existed, way before that guy thought about selling cannabis. And I had the trademark. He went and created a brand with my trademark, and he paid for that. And I wanted to go to the media and I wanted to like go off on social media and drag him and do all this stuff. And everyone was like, no, 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 you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I remember being at Hall of Flowers like 2 years ago, and it was like getting really confusing. And there was still like no conversation being had between the parties. And I was just shady. I was just shady to everyone. Like, no, we're not affiliated. Because that's what sort of started to happen is people thought that I was working with him, you know? And I'm like, no, I stand for the complete opposite of everything that that guy stands for. And, you know, I'm very, very, very lucky that people do take me seriously in this industry. I sometimes am like shocked at that. I don't know why, but I am. And I'm like, holy shit, like he really made it right. And he really
Yeah.
did pay me and funded a women owned business who I think is the antithesis of what the Ignite brand stands for, which is ironic. Who knows if that brand will even be around in the future. But strangely enough, like they did the right thing. And at that point, I didn't want the name anymore, you know? Like there were billboards in LA of like naked girls holding sheep. It was weird. The marketing was weird. The Ignite brand got a weird rap. I didn't want any of it. And I just said, it's Kush Queen Lube, you know, it's Kush
Yeah.
Queen Lube. Kush Queen's the brand name. You know, we do a lot of sub branding because we have this really big vision for the brand. That melt becomes a roll on, it becomes multi doses, it becomes all of these different things, maybe even like a spray. But I'm still completely self-funding the company. I literally started with nothing and I've been running on Steam, which is like another interesting thing because people, you know, want to say my following is fake or, you know, I don't know what they think about my life, but it's not because I'm like, I wouldn't have a business. And then, you know, it's hard because people like, they want to question the efficacy of the products. And
Yeah.
because I'm sensitive, I get like so defensive and I'm like, And I just tell people, I'm
Usually.
like, if my products didn't work and honestly didn't work better, I would not have a business
Yeah.
because I'm not a Poppet and Barkley. I'm
Mhm.
not a, you know, Kiva. I'm not some like massive cannabis company. And I've had to like weasel my way in here. Even Soul Distro and my relationship with them, which is the only reason I'm in the legal THC market in California. Like I could just say that. Like I would have been pushed out of the market. I would have just probably ended up selling hemp products full spectrum, but I definitely wouldn't have been able to continue to make THC products without either sacrificing a huge portion of the company or just being pushed off the shelf because California is just the licensing fees. The whole industry favors a monopoly. It favors large companies. It favors big money people in BCs. And that's the struggle that we knew because I was in the industry when 64 was coming
Yeah.
and we knew everybody was like, are we gonna vote yes against our own interests? But to have this moment because we really believed, a lot of people really believed with 64 that it was going to push the whole country forward.
Yeah.
And that was like the craziest thing about election day all those years back is that we got legal cannabis in California and we got Donald Trump on the same fucking day.
Yeah.
And if that isn't the polarity, the fucking
New Jersey. It's exactly what's going to be. So everybody's hoping that New Jersey's going to pull the trigger so that it creates this like domino effect across the tri-state area here. And it's like, I'm for it because I just know that we need the money. And I know everyone's just like, it's kind of like voting against your own people.
I did. I was one
And
of those people who voted yes on 64, and I
yeah,
100% voted against my own interests, you know, like I
Mhm.
really did.
Yeah,
And it was something that I did for progress, and I consciously knew that I was doing it because there were a lot of people like in the medical industry at the time saying vote no, vote no, vote no. But I just felt like what was right for me was voting yes and then figuring out a way to weasel my way in. Like I even though like it's depressing and like it is also like I'm on these like old school headphones, like I'm waiting for someone to call me out being like, "Girl, get you some cordless." But I love it. I need it, you know, like I need these to
Gotta be
remember.
down to earth.
I need to remind myself how old I truly am, you know? I also
Humble.
just go on Snapchat and they remind me, and I'm always like, oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for that one, you know? Thanks for reminding me that. But yeah, you know, it's like, that's the other thing too. I think it's like, you can accept like this industry is built for big businesses, but
Mhm.
there's always a way. And plus, all those
Absolutely.
people, they don't know what they're doing. They
Nope.
don't know the plant, they don't know the products, and they don't have the passion.
No.
And I get really down on myself, and I really try to not focus on what other people are doing because it feels not good for my soul,
Yeah.
and it is not healthy. But there's
Yes.
a weird reality to business and competition. There's a weird reality to being like, you know, there was like two bath bomb companies. There was
Mhm.
no hemp companies selling bath bombs. And like last week I saw a Pop Sugar list of like 25 bath bombs, hemp bath
Mhm.
bombs. And sure, we had two on the list. But it's just crazy to see like every company selling a bath bomb now. And I didn't invent the bath bomb. I wasn't the first person to sell a cannabis bath bomb. I never claimed to be. But it's
Mhm.
like, damn, like you can't help but feel like people are trying to take from you.
Yeah.
But I just try to remember at the end of the day that my passion for this, my heart, you can't buy that.
No.
And you can't buy also being on the pulse of the culture. And, you know, I know who copies me. I know who's looking at my feed. I know who's trying to jack, and it's fine. I'm
Yeah.
flattered. I
Yeah.
hope people only follow the good people. Because at the end of the day, like, I run this business with my mom, my fiance, my cousin's wife, my brother. Like, we are
Yeah.
a family business. And without them, number one, I could never have made it here. And then number two, I wouldn't be so down to earth because your family, especially mine being Southern, they will drag me down. They will say, get your ass in there and package bath bombs. You know, they really do. They really are unique, and it brings such like another energy to the business that I know no matter like what big celebrity someone starts working with or
Mhm.
whatever, we're going to always have our magic unicorn energy. And I feel like as the industry grows across the country, like I want people to hear that message of, yeah, it's scary. Yeah, it's big money. Yeah, it's these super connected people who most of them wrote the laws for themselves to
Yeah. They.
usher in, or, you know, people who have mommy and daddy's piggy bank to now be cool and be in cannabis. But
Mhm.
just remember, like, they don't have passion. They do not know the plant the way you know it, especially if you've grown it, extracted it, sold it. I mean, every CEO who doesn't have the experience of being a bud tender, they don't
Yeah.
have that. I have
Yeah.
that, and I'm proud of that. I think some
Mhm.
people look down upon it and think like, oh, she started as a bud tender, and try to put me down. And I'm like, do you know how many valuable years of experience I got selling weed? And
Yeah.
then whenever I was just starting out, I would do the demos. You know, I would be in there selling my own product, talking to people one on one, hearing their feedback, hearing ingredients they didn't like, hearing this worked for me, that didn't work for me. And
Yeah.
that's also why our line is at the very least consistent,
Yeah.
and every single product makes sense. And I think that's also it, you know, how I feel about the products that don't make sense.
Yeah, that was something that I had wanted to talk about.
I'm sure.
It's like, all right. So let me just recap everyone. So you have your body wash is soaked, that's transdermal. There's Melt, which is a topical product. You have your bath bombs. You have Photo Blur, which is a transdermal primer as
Yes.
well. So it's like all of these products, just from like a skincare point of view, everything like that, they actually do something. So it's not, I'm just letting everyone know in case they don't know your products. Like it's not just something in there as a gimmick. It's not a well, can I just start with the CBD mattress
Yeah,
first?
well, you know, for me, it started actually, Kingdom started because of Milk Makeup. And when
Mhm,
Milk Makeup came out in 2017 and lied on the mascara, Kush mascara, they
mhm.
straight up said it has CBD in it. And then me and a number of people from the industry came out with pitchforks. And that's
Yeah.
when they removed, I mean, I have the screenshots. They removed the word CBD, and then they started calling it a week later, after getting hammered, cannabis sativa seed oil. And that's when everyone started calling hemp seed oil CBD. And that is literally when I started developing Kingdom, because I said, I know the science. I know that CBD and cannabinoids are more powerful than vitamin C and vitamin E in the skin. I know that it fights free radicals. I know that the cause of aging and all kinds of bad stuff in the skin is inflammation. And if we know this is an anti-inflammatory, it fucking works. Not to mention, every person I know, yourself included, we look young as hell. Like, all my stoner friends, we look like we're 23, and everyone constantly gives me that little girl vibe. And I'm like, I mean, I just went on vacation, so I'm like red as hell, and I can't stop peeling everywhere. I'm just like, Lord. But I really believe in CBD and THC and these molecules in skincare 100%. It is not the gimmick, but when people started putting it in mattresses and mascara and all this bullshit, that's when people started to really question it. Also, when people started to lie on it. Because when you say hemp seed oil, yeah, there's benefits there, but it's like an olive oil. It's not CBD.
Yeah, it's not doing what you think it's doing. It's
And
nutrition.
the beauty space is inherently scammer. People don't want to hear about it, but they literally, it is an industry of people who are, for the most part, here to take our money, to make us feel bad about ourselves, and to scam people. These ingredient trends are really just large manufacturers who make all the products, and then brands run the brand, and they just receive finished goods, and they just carry on. And I couldn't believe that the beauty industry hopped on it. And then now I can't believe how out of hand it's gotten. I mean, CBD's in mattresses, clothes, sausage. A lot of people put it in hand sanitizer at the start of COVID, and that made me enraged, because I was trying to help hospitals in Louisiana, where I'm from, get hand sanitizer, and struggling literally during the first 2 weeks of COVID. I made my fiance rent a truck, a Penske truck, so we could go pick up hand sanitizer, so we could fill bottles for a hospital. And I'm like, I'm a cannabis company, And but it's really just a difference in people who are out for profit and who are out for the plant. And I get it. Our whole world hasn't had an opportunity like this in a long time. But I talk to companies every single day, like mainstream companies, agencies, and they all say, I've never seen a shit show like every single person starting a CBD company in the last few years. They were like, we've never seen a space become so saturated with garbage.
So quickly.
And I think the statistic is over 3,000 CBD companies are going to go out of business this quarter alone.
I believe it, because I stopped going to, I used to go to the convention at the Javits Center. I always butcher it. Is it CWBC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cannabis World Congress Business Expo. You got it.
And the first 2 years I went, it was just a couple of booths in the back. That's when I found out about CBD. There was a couple of veterans. They did a presentation, and I went to that, and that's when I was like, oh shit, I gotta get a job at a dispensary. So I started being a bud tender. I go back the following year, and then the year after, and then that's when I started RX MaryJade. And it literally was white label, white label, white label, white label, white label. And it was just I'm like, what's unique about your CBD? And it was just they didn't know where it came from. They didn't know anything about it. And it's just the market got so saturated, it became an Avon or a,
the MLMs.
Oh my God.
The MLMs, people trying to sell pyramid scheme CBD. I don't really go in hard, because I do have people that are dear to my heart. They don't sell pyramid scheme CBD, but they sell pyramid scheme other things. And I'm always trying to be sensitive, because, that's another thing about me is sometimes when I go off on my Instagram or make videos and stuff, I'm literally just flying off the handle. It's just truly who I am. I'm trying to work on it, because it really does bring a lot of negativity towards me. When people see me calling people out, they want to go in hard on me and say, you don't make your products, and you don't do this and do that. And it's I open myself up to it, so I have to take it.
Mhm.
And also, I think the other big thing is like I want to be. Oh, sorry, my wire caught me up. um, I do want to be a person who is trying to provide like education and solutions. So it's like a fine line. But my early days when I was Weed Bay, when I was really doing the social media thing, like I was just a ranty bitch. Like I was just ranty and I had something to say about everybody. And, I definitely tangoed with all kinds of people. And it probably is half the reason a lot of my pages got deleted. But I just think that cannabis, hemp, this whole industry is a circle jerk. And people are just like love to blow hot air up whatever brand has just raised, 10 to $20 million that year. And that's
Mhm.
why there's not very many leaders in the space, is because it's like this revolving door of people who come in, they're going to make luxury weed, they're going to, make some kind of innovation, which is just a pre-roll or a bag of flour that, my homie's been selling for 25 years, better quality too.
Yeah.
That's also it. It's a lot of mids in nice packaging from on all sides, and I just think that sometimes the things I say, people don't like them. And even when I play them back, I'm like, damn, you really went off. But someone has to say them, you
Yeah,
know?
you have to be able not be afraid to say what you mean, because that is that you're absolutely right, is that there's this whole yes man mentality in cannabis that if you just jump on this like the bandwagon of whatever's cool, or whatever, it has cannabis in it, so it's the fucking best. And it's like, no, not necessarily. It's you have to be true and honest to you. And if you really want this to be the cannabis community, then we need to all be individuals, and we need to all really speak up uh our truths and hold people accountable for the ones that are doing things that damage like legitimacy.
Well, yeah, the
To-
legitimacy and the efficacy of the plant, because it is a plant, it is molecules, it is science, it isn't pseudoscience, even, and a lot of what the beauty industry does is sell pseudoscience, is
Mhm.
sell ingredients at like high margins that can't actually penetrate the skin. But an
Yeah.
average consumer doesn't know these things, it's the same thing with the way that people want to like rename strains or want to lie on genetics of plants. Like you can't deny that. It's like
Mhm.
me trying to go around saying, oh, yeah, my eyes are blue. My eyes are not blue, And I think
Yeah.
now more than ever, like science and truth and this is real and this isn't is important. And, when I got into this industry, like I was so young and naive, and I really thought that I was changing the world. And I really thought that when we legalized cannabis, they would let everybody out of jail. When I was in third grade, my best friend's brother was murdered buying weed in our town. And
Wow.
people say like, oh, people don't die from weed. They do. They really do. And then more than that, people's lives are ruined. And I really thought that we were going to get everybody out of jail and then we were going to take this industry and we're going to help support education, help create tax revenue, help show people that we should legalize most drugs. And that, because I always had this crazy perspective of criminality, not as this, thing that was like, oh, you're bad or you're good. Just something's
Mhm.
wrong with our world. Something's wrong with our government. If you need to survive, if you got to sell drugs to survive, then you're literally just, you're just trying to survive. And that's
Yeah.
kind of why I started working at a shop. That's why I used to sell weed to my friends and my soccer mom friends and all the people I needed. I needed money. I was a struggling actress.
Yeah.
And, then I also came from a really small town in Louisiana of 700 people. So I felt the stigma. I knew racism. It wasn't a joke. When you live in an 80% black community and you're white, you fucking know.
Mhm.
And then I moved to LA and I was like, holy shit. That's when I realized about like wealth and celebrity and the wage gap, and like really the difference between me and other white people is that I was white trash. And I say that because it's just true. And also I don't care, you know. And so I got into cannabis and I thought like, oh, we're going to drive this shit forward. Like people are going to make amazing products, because I saw the dispensary go from just like, you would weigh out the eighths and package them up for people. People could buy an eighth, a gram, a quarter, whatever. And then there was like homemade edibles and there was earwax. It wasn't even like, it was so gross. It was really gross. But I saw that innovation. I saw it change. And I thought more was coming. You know, I really did. And just so many people have come in and like lost their fucking asses and never even considered the plant, the molecules, the science. And it's strange to me. It's really strange because it's just so deep. And I hope people know that when I criticize, I'm doing it from a good place. I mean, it seems sometimes I am doing it for humor, because it's like, if you're going to put CBD in a fucking mattress, someone needs to make fun of you. If you're going to sell CBD sausage, we
What
have
the
to make
fuck?
sausage, you know, like, but he sold out. So what do
Yeah.
I know? You know, what do I know?
Well, maybe. Well, okay. You know what? I'll give him this. If you're eating a lot of sausage, you might have high blood pressure or other health related issues, and CBD may help.
No,
So
I
I'll
did
give him
consider that. Like, okay, well, if you are going to have the sausage, maybe you should have some CBD with it. But, at the same time, the clothes, I didn't really go hard on the clothes, because I do think like athletes recovering, like if the CBD could actually absorb into the bloodstream, it might have benefits. I think that,
that.
and I also think like, look, an idea is crazy. People call good ideas crazy. And
Yeah. Hmm.
then they realize, oh no, this was a good idea. I mean, that's like a very common thing. But yeah, I want people to defend the plant and be better than capitalism. I guess that's also it. Is I thought that it was going to be about more than capitalism. And it is literally just about money to these people, to most of them. And I've had to change
Hmm.
because I wasn't, business minded. I was thinking like an activist, and I was thinking like um, just a person who loved cannabis, and it's changed me. But I
Yeah.
think for the better. And I think that in some ways it's like there is balance. That's what we need. We need balance in the industry. We need balance in the world. There's a way to have both.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe I should ask them for a CBD mattress. No, I'm just kidding.
I always said that it's a very interesting place because it's where the black market meets Wall Street. So
Mm,
it's two different groups of people doing shady things, collaborating. So you're gonna have the you're gonna have the good and evil in both sides. And and very much like you, like I feel as though, you when you have these, I don't want to say people don't have morals, but it's when you're
integrity.
yeah, when you don't have that integrity, or you're operating out of a place of integrity, I should say, is you find that you have a similar goal, like, okay, I want to make this product come true. And then you find that you align yourself with people that necessarily don't care about the actual, well, oh, it helped people with skin cancer, it helped people do this. And like I made a product. I let my mom try it. She had skin cancer. It fell off of her. Like the skin cancer fell off of her. I was going to make this product with somebody, and it just, as much as I know that it would help people, it's like I couldn't never commit myself to working with that type of person. It just was like, and that's what makes it hard, because it just, you're not, yeah.
It's
It's
a struggle. I know more than anyone. And I even like, I call out corporate cannabis, yet the company this who owns this building is corporate cannabis. And people have come in my comment section and had some real things to say about it. And it's like, just because I criticize, doesn't mean I don't even work with some of these people. I work with a lot of them, but
Mm.
I am entitled to my own opinion. And I do think that there's a way to have both. I just think that it is a really hard industry to keep your integrity and keep your truth and to chase passion, because it's an industry now. And
Yeah.
but at the same time, I think there's so much that is accessible to people at home with this plant. Like I always tell people, like, yeah, you can make CBD bath bombs at home if you want.
Yeah.
You can infuse the oil. It's not a very sophisticated formula, can be messy. Can you make thousands of them? No. But everybody can do this in some way. And I'm just like one of those people who, like I said at the beginning, like I'm just making stuff for me. And when it comes to the cosmetics, especially, like people think I'm crazy. The dispensaries necessarily don't. They have a journey of like how to sell it, but
Yeah.
a lot of the media, I've gotten tons of press over the years. Like, let's be real, people have really fucked with me. The LA Times wrote a thing about me last year. Like, I am very, very positioned in the media, and they don't get the THC makeup. They don't get why someone would want to get high in a way that isn't smoking a joint or a flower. And I'm like, social anxiety, moms who wake up and have to be with their kids right now in COVID who can't even smoke now. What, you're going to eat an edible? There's so many reasons. And it's really good for your skin. So, and then I said, I'm starting with the skin. Well, why are you starting with the skin? Primer's not a big seller. Foundation's not a big seller. You're going to make an eyeshadow palette. And I'm like, I can't claim you need CBD up here, but I could tell you need CBD and THC in here, and you need surface level for the cannabinoids to actually get you high. Your skin is your biggest organ. That is right. In the comments below, we have some very educated people, but a lot of people don't know that.
Yep.
And it's crazy to me that lately I've been having to sort of like convince people why cannabis should be in makeup and why makeup should get us high, because it just makes so much sense to me. But, that's part of this journey, is like people aren't going to get you, and they are going to get what you're doing. That can happen in anything. But I still firmly believe, like, when it's coming from your heart, when you are loving what you're doing, when you believe in it, when you're making it for yourself, it doesn't matter. And that's
Yep.
just sort of how I feel. And then it's like, at the same time, Sephora can put pot leaves on everything when it's not real cannabis. It's just probably isolate. And they're trying to take the cannabis consumer and take their money. And the dispensaries, I'm telling them, I'm like, y'all, like, they're taking your customer. Instead of you guys bringing in this customer, they're selling them some boo boo. And these people, like, we did BeautyCon last summer before COVID, and it was incredible. BeautyCon has such a diverse audience, and they love small brands, they love big brands, they love people who make stuff by hand, they love huge companies. It's a very, very cool thing. And we were some of the first people to ever get in there. It was Kush Queen, it was Undefined Beauty, it was I'm blanking on the other company, but it was just three of us in this huge convention center. And so many of the people there, like 70% of them, had never even tried CBD before, but they were so interested. And I think that puts customers in a really vulnerable place. And I think that's what people have been preying on. I think that's why these silly CBD products piss me off. I think that's the other reason why I feel like I have to defend, is because it's like, these people are vulnerable. They will
Yeah.
tell you about how they hurt. They will tell you about they will show you, like, I have people constantly like lift up their shirts and show me their eczema or their psoriasis. Very personal things, and they're vulnerable, and they want plant medicine. They don't want drugs. People know pharmaceuticals are bad at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like so interesting that people prey on that. And I think that always is why I get so defensive too, is because you shouldn't be able to prey on consumers, but it's like totally allowed in America now. I mean, look at the way they charge for real drugs, people who are dying.
That's what happened. I did my first CBD brunch. That was, I think, my first event ever. And a man and his wife, he had Parkinson's. And I was having everybody sign in, and he couldn't sign his name, so she signed for him. And then they pulled out a bottle of CBD oil that they purchased there. And they were like, what's the difference between this and this stuff that we bought for $300? And I just was like, Nothing, absolutely nothing, except that they made you pay 5 times as much for this bottle. And it was just like the heartbreak that that there's humans out there that can just sit there in this person's face and see that this man is struggling and just, yeah, $500. Like, and you could just rob people. And
Oh, I have a child in my family who's a quadriplegic. He's never worked a day in his walked a day in his life. He has a feeding tube, and cannabis is the only reason he's still alive,
yeah,
almost into his 20s, which is the doctors are like, what is going on here? And, you know, there was a point where if it wouldn't be for me, I'm sure my aunt would have been, you know, just taken for because
yeah,
she's doing everything to save her son, you know, but that's how it used to be when I worked at the shop. Like that's what made me know I
yeah,
had to be a part of this industry is just like every single customer, maybe 1 out of 5 was actually the stoner who was there
yeah,
to get high. The other half of people are really sick.
yeah,
And it's only gotten worse, you know,
mhm,
especially now.
yeah,
And I just think that that's the magic in this plant too. There's so many molecules. There's so much good, but people will flip it. And that's where I think we do need more education to keep educating people. Because it's like without education, I would be
yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Without these brilliant people over the years who taught me about the the plant, who taught me how to extract, who taught me how to grow, who taught me
Mhm,
how to make products, who taught me about science. My fiance and one of my best friends, who's my chief science officer, Ariane, he went to MIT, and
mhm,
they have literally put all this information into my brain, and I'm able to regurgitate it really easy to people. And it's like, I think it makes the difference in Kush Queen, and it makes a difference in the consumers. It's just like people only have so much time. They don't have the time to dedicate,
yeah,
to trying as many products as we do, or the access even.
yeah,
And but that's who needs to have the knowledge more than anyone, or the people with the purchasing power, because
yeah.
that's who has all the power to build the industry the right way. It's
Mhm.
just like, how do you circumvent a company spending $10 million on marketing?
Yeah, and that's the difficult part. We're coming to the end, and I just want to let everybody know uh, to where to find your products if you have any sales coming up, anything, any giveaways, anything like that. Just let everybody know where they can get your quality products that aren't a scam. And no, she does not sell CBD sausage.
Thank you.
But also that this was sponsored by my Bud Vase, and I didn't have one with me today, but when I get one, I will be sure to show it off.
Oh,
But
they're beautiful. I love those. I actually I use a bong, and it's so ugly. And when you told me they were the sponsor, I was like, I might need to grab one, because my bong it's cute. It's a little guy, but it's ugly.
yeah,
And I love the idea of like it being a piece of art, and it being a bong. That's like what I was trying to do with Crystal Cult when I started in the
I
industry,
remember
was
that.
make the vapes, make the pretty pre-rolls, make the vapes. I've done a lot of crazy shit. But yeah, so we have a sick giveaway going on right now with Endo Black, which is an amazing organization we've worked with over the years. And we have huge sales coming. We're launching our holiday collection this week. So there's going to be like these crazy collections that are super discounted. So it makes your shopping easy. A lot of them are under $100. And all the products are at cushqueen.shop. And then the Kingdom THC cosmetics are in compliant California dispensaries right now. Hopefully we'll expand. I'm really interested in trying to sell THC on my CBD site and pushing the dosing as high as it can go without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that, because I might just lose my mind and my manners and do that. I've really been fighting my team to let me do it, because I just want to open up access, And
Mhm.
as always, we're at Kush Queen Shop, Kush Queen Co. And just really doing our thing over here. I'm the Liv Alexandra on Instagram. Um, but yeah, I'm still shocked that Melt was your first product.
Well, I
Very
even know about
interesting.
So now I know, like now you know how far back
It's
that.
true. It's true. It's, well, no, I mean, I remember you being on Instagram years ago. I remember because it's like, that's the thing. Like when you see people doing it, you know, when you see people just doing their own thing and also just like shining like you do, because you do, and you have amazing content and a real voice. And I always, I just always saw you and I was like, she's killing it. There's so many people, you know, there's so many people that I've met through Instagram and that have supported Kush Queen, that have supported me, and then also just like inspired me to keep it real. And, you know, I think you're one of those people. So I'm really grateful that you'd want to chat with me.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I had you come on today. And I just want to remind everybody to check out Kush Queen. Was it dot shop? Is
Dot
that, yeah.
shop.
And they will have great holiday things coming up. Um, if you can get any of the makeup, don't send it to me over here. But thank you again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys so much.
Take care.
Bye.